Alright, what's going on? Thanks for tuning into Boxing Wave. I'm Paul. A lot of you know me as Wavy. I'm gonna do a quick prediction video for Brandon Rios and Manny Pacquiao. First, speaking on Brandon Rios, he's coming off two back-to-back fights with Mike Alvarado. The first fight was last year. It was the fight of the year. Brandon Rios won by knockout. I think he knocked him out like the 7th round, but it was definitely fight of the year up into the knockout. They were just exchanging blows pretty much the whole fight. Brandon Rios is the type of fighter that just wants to exchange. He's not really the boxer type. Like, he's not gonna dance around a ring. He's just gonna come straight at you and stand right in front of you and hit you. You know, you hit him, he hits you back. That's pretty much it. You know, he just wants to see who's the stronger fighter, who can stand the longest. He doesn't have any type of defense, none whatsoever. You know, you punch, you throw a punch, you're most likely gonna hit him. It's all about whether or not you're able to withstand a punch from him. Like I said, he has no defense. He has punching power. He has some power, obviously. You know, it doesn't really show any head movement. He's a very exciting fighter to watch, though, because he's gonna give you your money's worth. He comes in there to fight and not really display any kind of boxing skills. He just wants to come in there and exchange and brawl. The first fight he won against Alvarado. The second fight was earlier this year. Also could easily be fight of the year as well. He lost the second fight. Mike Alvarado is clearly the more talented boxer as far as boxing talent. And he can also exchange with Brandon Rios, which he did both fights, but this time he won by decision. He went the distance with him. He didn't get knocked out, and he won by decision. So Brandon Rios is actually coming off the loss of their second fight with Mike Alvarado. Now, Manny Pacquiao is coming off of 2 losses. His first loss was against Timothy Bradley, which was a robbery. Like, that fight was one of the reasons why a lot of people don't like boxing, you know, and being that black boxing is kind of like on a decline right now. That robbery was like one of the worst things that could have happened, you know, because Manny Pacquiao clearly won that fight. I mean, I try to watch it as many times. You know, I might have watched it like 4 times right after the fight was over, and the most I could give Bradley was 4 or 5 rounds, maybe the most, and that was a stretch. 5 rounds was a stretch. Manny Pacquiao clearly beat him, and they gave him, you know, he lost, so they gave it to Timothy Bradley for whatever reason. And his last Manny Pacquiao lost his fight after that, which was his 4th fight with Marquez, and he was actually beating Marquez. That was a great fight. That was a war. Like, they was pretty much killing each other, you know. Pacquiao went down, Marquez went down. It was a great fight. I mean, they have probably the best, you know, set of fights ever in boxing history. You know, it was their 4th fight, and it was probably the best one out of the 4, up until the point where Manny Pacquiao got knocked out. And his knockout was the most dramatic knockout, one of the most dramatic knockouts ever in boxing, because I thought he was dead. He looked like Apollo Creed. Like, he wasn't even moving. And he got knocked out for pretty much one of his biggest weaknesses. He jumps into, every time he throws a punch, he jumps towards his opponent. He jumps. That's the way he fights. He's always been like that. But Pacquiao is, you know, he's not the most, he doesn't have the best defense, but he's very active in the ring. He moves around. His foot movement is his head, you know, his head movement, he's always moving. You know, he's just dancing around all the time. He throws punches from weird angles. He has great combinations. He has punching power. He has speed. He has everything. Manny Pacquiao is one of the best. You know, this is why a lot of people wanted him to see him fight Floyd for so many years. He's been one of the top pound for pound fighters for a long time now. As far as him fighting Brandon Rios, I think his superior boxing skills is going to win him this fight. I think his combinations, you know, the fact that he's, you know, if he doesn't exchange and stand in front of him, which he usually don't do, he should be able to win this fight pretty easily. I think round for round, he should just be, you know, very active, not taking anything away from Brandon Rios, because Brandon Rios is going to get his hits in too, you know. But I think Pacquiao should win this fight pretty easily. I don't think he's going to knock him out. I think it's going to go to decision, you know. Or, you know, he could be beating up Rios pretty bad to a point where the ref stops the fight. I don't know. But Brandon Rios is crazy, and he probably is not going to care if he's getting punched in the face. He has a lot of heart, and, you know, he has a good chin. Only things I worry about for Pacquiao is if, you know, same thing happens. You know, I'm sure Brandon Rios have watched the tapes, and Pacquiao does jump into, you know, he jumps in when he punches, and Brandon could really work on his, you know, countering him and doing the exact same thing Marquez did to him. You know, Pacquiao jumped right into the punch, and Marquez just had that, you know, right punch coming straight forward. As soon as Pacquiao was jumping in, he just like ran right into the punch, and he was knocked out cold. So it's a possibility of that happening again. And also, Brandon Rios is a young, hungry fighter, up and coming guy that's like, you know, he's a good fighter, and I really wouldn't pick this guy for Pacquiao to come back from that dramatic loss that he had. Not as his first guy, but it's a respectable fighter at the same time. So I think, you know, being knocked out, you know, I don't know if he's traumatized for that fight. I don't know. I mean, the last time we saw you in the ring, you wasn't moving. So, you know, I don't know. Maybe that could affect his next fight. That's all I'm saying. But as far as, you know, boxing skill and talent, I think Pacquiao easily wins this fight. I think he's going to win based off his combinations and his foot movement. And I think it's going to be too much for Brandon. And another thing too, I just want to say, I really don't believe Pacquiao has fell off. Like, a lot of people think he's done, he should retire. If he loses this fight, I think he should retire. You know, it's no point. You know, you're a future Hall of Famer. You fought everyone out there. You moved up in weight, and you had a great run. You moved up in weight and beat Cotto. You beat Margarito. You went and beat Hatton. You went and beat De La Hoya. There's a lot of people he went and beat, and I think if he loses this fight, I think he should retire. But if not, I think he has a great, you know, he could still probably fight Floyd. There's a lot of people that still want to see that fight. A lot of people that are not diehard fans want to still see that fight. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, I personally don't think he can beat Floyd, but I wouldn't mind seeing a fight. You know, I think Floyd said he got another 5 fights to go. He should make Pacquiao one of them. Why not? You know, but I think if he wins, you know, he's still up there. I don't count his loss to Timothy Bradley. So, and he lost against Marquez. Why should he be done? He lost to Juan Manuel Marquez. Like, you know, he's another future Hall of Famer. You know, the only person he lost badly to was Floyd Mayweather. So, you know, I still respect Pacquiao, and I think he's still one of the best out there. And that's pretty much it. So please subscribe to BoxingWave. Thanks for tuning into the video. Please subscribe to USA MVP 2. He got some good videos up as well. And follow me on Twitter, wavy_10. That's WAVY _ the number 10. And that's it. Thank you for checking me out, and Make sure you watch my Lucas Matisse versus Danny Garcia prediction and the Floyd Mayweather versus Canelo Alvarez prediction. All right, take care.